See, we're live now. So,
Which way do I go?
you have to hold it this way.
All right.
There you go. So that's you. So you want to turn it.
Well, that's what I said. Turn it.
No, the other way.
So difficult.
I'm difficult. You're difficult. All right. Hello, everyone. Today we're making confetti cupcakes with vanilla buttercream. Why are you laughing? You have one job and you're failing, Mom. I don't know about this.
I'm unpaid, don't forget.
Right. So we're going to start with our mise en place. So to start, we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And then we'll get our dry ingredients ready and our wet ingredients ready. So for our dried ingredients, we need 2.5 cups of flour, 2.5 tablespoons of baking powder, quarter teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put that all into here. So I'll start off with my flour.
Hi, Bill.
We'll do the shout out first, Mom.
Hi, Crystal.
Okay, so first I'll measure out our flour. So 2.5 cups of flour going into my bowl here. So again, I'm mixing my flour around with my cup to kind of aerate it and make it fluffy. And then I'm going to scoop it up the back of my knife and level it out.
Bill says hi.
Hi, Bill. Is it Draha or Bill or both?
It's Bill.
Oh, it's Bill. Just checking. So that was one. 2.
Crystal says hi.
Hi, Crystal. And a 1/2 cup. Ooh,
Oh, Draha's watching too.
okay, well that's important. We have the crew now. So 2.5 cups of flour in there. Now we're going to do 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder.
Terry is watching.
Carrie's watching?
Terry.
Oh, Terry. Hello, Terry. And then a quarter teaspoon of salt. We have ours in our official Blue Jay Ziploc container. Very important.
And hi from Janet and Katie Lafferty.
Ooh, hello Janet and hi Katie. All right, so now we have our flour, baking powder, and salt all in here, and I'm going to whisk it together to combine those ingredients. So for those just joining us, we have our oven preheating at 350 degrees. We have our dry ingredients mixed here in this bowl. I'm just whisking them all together. And now we're going to do our wet ingredients. So I'm going to do mine in a measuring cup because it's easier. So I'm going to grab my 1.25 cup of milk. And I always use whole milk for my recipes just because I find the fat makes the cake a little bit more tender. But if you have 2% or 1%, that's fine. Skim, fine too.
And say hi to Dorothy.
Hello, Dorothy. All right, so we have our 1.25 cup of milk in here. And this is also where you add any of your liquid flavorings. So if you're making vanilla cupcakes, you're gonna put your vanilla in here. If you're making the confetti cupcakes, you're gonna measure your vanilla extract and almond extract and put them in here. If you're making coconut cupcakes, you want to use coconut extract, that can go in there as well. The only thing to watch out for is if you're making lemon cupcakes, you don't want to put your lemon zest in there because it's going to curdle the milk. So I'm going to add my extract in with my milk here. And I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almond.
And I think Janice and Charlotte are online too.
Oh, perfect. All right, there's my 1 teaspoon of almond extract. I'm all in vanilla, I know, heaven forbid. So I'm not gonna put any vanilla in there. And I don't wanna add extra almond or else it'd make my cake very almondy, which is not really what I'm looking for right now. So that is done. So for those just joining us again, we have our oven preheating to 350 degrees. We have our dry ingredients in a bowl, all whisked together. We have our milk and our extract in a little dish, and that is all ready to go. Now we're gonna start creaming our butter and our sugar to get ready for our base. So again, we're gonna use our paddle attachment. I have my mix master here, Black Forest.
Do I add almond and vanilla extract together?
Yes, you can add that together to the milk.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're using any liquid extracts, so vanilla, almond, the coconut, they all go in the milk. If you're using lemon zest, if you're making the lemon cupcakes, you're going to want to put your lemon zest in with the butter because it will curdle the milk.
Check.
Check. So I have my half a cup of unsalted butter. And I've had this out since this morning, so it's nice and soft.
Hi, Janice and Charlotte.
So that's going in there. Get that turned on. So now that butter has softened a little bit in the bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. So we are adding 1 3/4 cup of sugar. Adding that in there. And then I'll get my 1 cup. And then Mom, can you show the bowl? So that's all my sugar in with the half cup of butter. So again, I'm just gonna warm mine because my bowl gets really cold with my hands. And we're gonna let that cream till it comes nice and soft, fluffy, and combined.
How long?
About 3 to 5 minutes. We're holding that foam for a while. Don't forget to stop and scrape. Does anybody have any questions while this is happening? Any questions?
No.
No. So this stuff takes a little while, but it's really important because it helps get air in the cupcake and make a nice and light and fluffy cupcake. So it's important. Just like when we made our lemon loaf. It takes a little bit of time, but it makes for a really nice product.
The oven temperature is
350 degrees.
And your husband is watching?
My husband is watching.
Yeah, Grant Mitchell.
Oh, that's good.
And Mirtha Perez is watching.
Oh, that's Janet's sister from Colombia.
Oh.
We're international now, Mom.
Hi, Mirtha. And Mark Burrell is watching.
Oh yes, Mark.
Mark?
From the theater. And then he was also the one that was Bobby's hairdresser when she was in the home.
Oh, really? Oh, hi, Mark. Janice, sweetheart, 350.
You're very patient, Mother.
Oh, the Beagles from Saskatchewan are watching. From Saskatoon. Hi, Clint.
Hopefully they're all there.
Bill has a suggestion for your next bake. He says, I love macaroons, the coconut kind, but they never turn out.
We can do that, Bill.
Yes, Katie, we're mixing the butter with the sugar, about 3 to 5 minutes.
So, and then Katie, we also have our dry ingredients all in a separate bowl, ready to go, mixed together. And then we have our wet ingredients in another bowl, all mixed together, ready to go. So our milk and then our extract, so vanilla, almond, coconut, whatever you're using goes in here with your milk. And then in our bowl we have our sugar and our butter, and we're mixing it till it's light and fluffy. So we're almost there, looking pretty good. I'm going to scrape. Everybody still with me? I'll take silence as a yes.
Yes.
Alright, so that's looking pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and add our eggs. So I have 2 large eggs here. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put my eggs each into a bowl, and then I'm going to dump the bowl in there. Just in case you get any shell, it's easier to get out. So crack our eggs on a flat surface. And into our bowl. And put that in there. And we want to make sure the egg is fully incorporated before we add the next one. So you can see that's looking pretty good. So now we're going to add in the next one. So we're just mixing this all together, making it nice and light and fluffy. Really take your time with this step because this is what's going to make your end product good. So just another minute here. And I'm only on about medium speed here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to lift up my paddle, I'm going to scrape. Someone once told me bakers scrape, cooks don't. So if you want to be a baker, scrape your bowl. I can't remember who told me that.
The eggs were the last thing we added, Janice.
Yes, so Janice, eggs one at a time, making sure that it's fully incorporated before you add the next one. So now we're on low speed. And we're gonna alternate with our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients, just like we did with our lemon loaf. Oh, sorry, Mom, can you pass me a spoon? Sorry, Mom, just get a spoon. He's got a spoon. So just like with our lemon loaf, we'll do a couple big tablespoons, scoops of our flour mixture. Wait till it's fully combined, and then we'll add in half of our liquid mixture, a little bit more flour, the other half of our liquid, and then the rest flour. So basically you have 3 times flour, 2 times milk. So here we go. And we're on low here. Wasn't low enough. There we go. And then you wait till it comes together, and then you add in your milk. So half the amount of milk, a little bit more. Doesn't have to be exact. So it's gonna kind of look like that. And now we go in with the flour again. So again, once it's all combined, you can add in the rest of your milk. Slowly. There we go. And now we're going to add in the rest of our flour. It's hard to get the bottom. Alright, so once it's kind of looking like it's all together, you're going to stop your mixer. You don't want to over mix your batter. Alright, so that is our batter for the cupcakes. At this point, if you have any additions, like you're making the coconut cupcakes, you would fold in your coconut at this point. If you're making the white chocolate and raspberry, you would toss your raspberries with the flour and you would fold them in at this point as well in the white chocolate. If you're making your lemon cupcakes, your zest would already be in there, so you're good to go.
You have to. It's flour on the side.
I know, I'm not done.
Okay.
Everyone's a critic. Just cleaning my scoop first. So I'm just gonna get all the rest of this in there, kind of fold it all together. You don't have to be gentle with it. Make sure you get the bottom and the middle. Perfect. So to mine, I'm gonna add the sprinkle because I like confetti cupcakes. So I have these like party sprinkles from Cake Mate from the store. They also come in the rainbow variety. I liked these ones, I thought they were kind of cute. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sprinkles to my batter. Ooh, perfect amount. Look at that. Ooh. All right.
And say hello to Dawn.
Hello, Dawn. Oh, I'm surprised Dawn's watching. She doesn't really want to bake. It's fine, Dawn. I'll make all of our baking. Just making sure I bring some in for work.
Oh, okay.
So we're just folding in our sprinkles here. And that is our confetti batter. All done. So now we're gonna scoop it out into our pan and get it in the oven. And while that's baking, I'm gonna show you how to do the vanilla buttercream, and we're gonna talk decorating. All right, so I have my pan here, and I have liners. I have the Reynolds large size liners. I used to be able to find the extra large, and I love those. but apparently you can't get them much anymore, so we have the large size.
And Mirtha says, hi, Lisa from Colombia.
Hi, Mirtha. So glad you could join us.
Hope you're all doing well in Colombia, Mirtha.
All right, so I got 12 going on there. So I have a super fancy scooper. If you don't have one, no problem. You can use a quarter cup for the large size. Keep in mind that you don't want to overfill them, so error to underfill, because you can always fill it up with frosting. But if you overfill, you're going to kind of get like big cupcakes and kind of make a mess. Yes, Mom?
Janice wants to know, these are the Toronto people. I guess they're not very fast this morning. Did you add vanilla to the batter?
Yes, the vanilla and the almond went into the milk. But if you forgot to add your vanilla and almond into the milk, you can add it into the batter at the end. That's okay. So now I'm going to scoop my cupcakes. I know from experience that for my particular cupcakes, for them to be well sized, I do a little bit under, I have a little bit of a hole there under a scoop. And this is the quarter cup scoop size. Makes it really handy to scoop out my cupcakes.
Oh, and where did you get that scoop?
Oh, gee, I wonder. I think my mother gave it to me. I don't know. So I'm just kind of grabbing some batter, scraping it against the side of the bowl, and then just kind of scraping it until the amount of batter that I want out comes out. I'm planning to make a lot of cookies and cupcakes. The scoop really is handy because it makes everything even. And if you're making cookies, it helps make really big soft cookies because the scoop kind of makes the middle a little bit more fatter, so when it spreads out, it doesn't spread out too much. All right, so that's one pan. It looks like I'm gonna get quite a bit out of this, so that's good. So that's one pan done. So he's gonna go into the oven for 18 to 20 minutes. We're gonna check at 18 and see what he looks like. This one's so much darker.
I know, it's been well used.
It's been well loved. Oh, need more muffin liners. So many different liners. That's
Okay, Katie's running a bit behind too. She wants to know, she just finished the butter, sugar, and eggs. Do the wet or the dry ingredients go in next?
So you're gonna add like 3 big heaping spoonfuls of your dry. Once that's all combined, you're gonna add half of your wet. Let that combine. Then you're gonna add another big 3 heaping spoonfuls of dry, and then add the other half of your wet, and then the last bit of your dry. So alternating the dry and the wet.
What size scoop is that, Bill wants to know?
This is a 1/4 cup scoop. And I think online they're called like a cookie scoop. You can also use a 1/4 cup measuring cup and then just kind of scoop it out, scrape it out with a spoon and then keep going. You can do something like that as well.
Oh, this is such a neat way of doing them.
I know, it really is. Like if you make a lot of cupcakes or cookies, this is really the way to go. Just makes it so much faster and so much easier, and then everything's even and level. It's good. All right, so that's it. Got quite a bit of batter. I have a little bit of batter left over, so I'm just gonna scoop it into a little. I know these ones are a little bit too big. That's okay. They're a little bit spread out. So once my first pan comes out, I put my second pan in, and then I'm gonna scoop the rest of my batter into the first pan because I only have 2 pans. Can
you bake them together?
I personally don't like baking my cupcakes together just because I find with our oven is quite small. If your oven is big and you can, go for it. I can't fit 2 pans this way in my oven. If I could, I'd probably bake them together, but I can't, so I'd have to bake them like this and one here. And I just find they don't rise properly. They don't have a good relationship together. So I prefer to bake my pans one at a time for the best rise in my cupcakes.
And what do you consider a good relationship?
Between my cupcakes?
Yes.
When they look good.
Okay, when they look good. All right.
And they're not fighting. And
okay.
One of them's not brown and one of them's like white.
Okay. And Ryan Elliott is saying hello.
Hello, Ryan. So I'm just going to wash my bowl here. How's everybody doing? Is everyone with us?
I'll have to show you the beautiful flowers I got for my birthday. Just gorgeous. Nice and springy.
They smell really good too, Mama.
Yes, they smell wonderful. Apparently that's one of the ways you can tell if you have COVID-19 is that your sense of smell goes. So apparently this doctor is suggesting smelling peanut butter. And if you can't smell the peanut butter, then you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Thanks, Dr. Mom.
Yes, Katie, just stir the sprinkles into the batter. And Janice is asking how long to bake.
18 to 20 minutes, Janice.
At 350.
At 350, yes. And Katie, just to show you, so we have sprinkles here, these kind of long ones. This is from Cake Mate. So we're doing a 1/4 cup of sprinkles and then just mix it into the batter before you scoop it. I had some...
Thank you, Bertha.
I don't know, party mix. Different colors, but any color will do.
Yes, I was surprised when I got the flowers because I thought all the stores were closed. But apparently Letha, oh dear, yeah, Letha, sorry about that. Lisa called the flower shop, and the lady knows us because we order all our flowers from there, and she said, oh, no problem, I'll get them to your mom. So that was very nice of her. Thank you, Janet. I wish birthdays came only like maybe every 2 years. That would be so much better.
Okay. So we'll give everyone some time to catch up with us, and then we'll make the frosting. And you can either make the frosting now or you can make it later, whatever works for you. But I have some little cupcakes that I made that I can show you frosting. And then when you're ready, you can do it. We almost need like theme music, Mom, to like play when there's like a lull. You'll have to get started on that. You'll have to work on that.
Check.
So you can be like, da-na-na-na-na.
I'm trying to think of some cooking themed songs. If anybody has any ideas, please send them to us.
We'll take all your suggestions. Alright, so just checking in. Has everybody got their cupcakes in the oven? We're ready for icing. Katie, how are you doing? Where are my others?
We need a little halftime show.
Well, hello. You're the producer. You're supposed to be doing the halftime show.
Producer and chief cameraman and chief grip.
God. Chief pain in the butt, too.
Lisa.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody hears that, you know.
I know.
Katie says, give me 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem, Katie. We'll wait. While Katie's doing that, maybe we'll talk about ingredients. I wanted to mention about quality ingredients when you're baking. I know some people have said to me, you know, like, oh, Lisa, your baking is so good. I mean, obviously it's me and it's the love I put into it, but it's also the quality of ingredients that I get. When you're baking, you want to make sure that you find kind of the best quality that you can get. Like when you're baking with butter, you want to find like a good quality butter. This is a European style butter. It's unsalted. This is the best kind of one for baking. You're not going to go for the no name, you know, butter, the cheap butter, because that's going to be filled with water. It's going to not have much flavor. And when you taste your baking, it's not going to taste like anything. Same thing goes with your extracts. You want to find something that's like pure almond extract or pure extracts. When I usually bake, when I can find it, I use like Nielsen Massey vanilla. It's one of the best vanillas apparently in the world, but it has a really good flavor, really good aroma, and that makes my baking taste so good. And that's part of one of the secrets of my baking, is that I look for that good quality stuff that I use for my baking.
So why aren't we using it now?
Because I can't find it. Apparently there's a vanilla shortage in the world, so the price of the Nielsen Massey vanilla has absolutely skyrocketed. I found one online through Gourmet Warehouse in Vancouver, and it was like, I want to say it was like $40 for a thing like this. And I was just like, no, I'm cheap right now, so no, I'm not going to do that. So my mom brought me some vanilla beans from India. I haven't gone through them and harvested them all out yet, so I will probably do that soon and then use those in my baking as well, which is good. But yeah, if you can find good quality ingredients, always make sure to do that. Chocolate is also one that's really important to make sure you're buying good quality chocolate. Like, if you remember our first bake when we made those chocolate cookies, if you had used like cheap Easter Bunny chocolate from a dollar store, your cookies would have not turned out. It would have tasted terrible. So it's really important to make sure you're finding, you know, good brands like Lindt, Cadbury, Purdy's, Laura Secord, you know, go for the good stuff. If you're making something that doesn't have a whole lot of chocolate in it and it calls for just a little bit of chocolate, you can get away with using something cheap, no problem. But when you're making something that's predominantly one ingredient, spend the extra money, you'll thank me for it. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so I think Katie would be all caught up with us now. So let's talk icing. So to make icing, I don't like a really sweet icing. So
Hi, Grace and Zach.
So I like to whip my icing a lot to make sure there's lots of air into it. So I use the whisk attachment for my KitchenAid. If you have a handheld mixer, the one that you have that you're using your beater, that would be perfect. That is like a whisk attachment, as opposed to my paddle, which is dirty and foamy, but it's right here. So kind of the difference between the two. So we're gonna go ahead and put our whisk attachment onto the KitchenAid here, and he's ready to go.
Okay, Katie's back.
Perfect. So Katie, we just talked whisk attachment onto your KitchenAid, or if you have your handheld mixer, the beaters there are the whisk attachment, so you're good there. So in my work bowl, we're gonna have 1 cup of unsalted butter. And again, this has been sitting out, so it's nice and soft.
And Draha, I don't know if you remember, but in Sterling, there's a creamery, Sterling Creamery, where my mother always used to buy her butter. Well, you can actually get that in Vancouver at one of our better grocery stores called Thrifty's. And that's very good quality butter. I think it's been taken over by Gay now. The sign has changed in Sterling.
On that note. Okay, so we have our butter in here. It's just going to kind of flop around. My butter doesn't really get much.
Yes.
So our butter is just going to kind of flop around a little bit because the whisk attachment really doesn't do anything. So we're going to go ahead now and add in our powdered sugar. I really don't sift my powdered sugar because I'm like, whatever. If you want to sift, go for it, powdered sugar you. So we're going to put in 4 cups of powdered sugar into our mixer. We want to make sure our mixer is on as low as possible so we don't get the splashback. There will still be a little bit of splashback, but it shouldn't be as bad. Goes in our first cup, and I'm not going to add the rest in until this is kind of done something, or else we're just going to get powdered sugar everywhere. So I'm just kind of boosting the speed just to get the butter off my whisk. It's messy. It happens. Kind of fluff it back in. If it's really messy, you can also put a tea towel over here. Sometimes I do that. You know, take your time with it. It's not a race.
Oh, Janice says we can get the Sterling Creamery butter at Reed's Dairy in Belleville, Draha. So there you go.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. All the icing sugar is incorporated. So we're going to go with our next installment. So another cup going in.
Yes, I see that.
Splash zone. So we'll just again wait for all that to be incorporated. Just boosting our speed a little bit to try to like get it all in. Okay, and then we're gonna go with our next cup. So we're doing 4 cups total, so we're at cup number 3 now. Okay, so that looks pretty combined. And now we have our last cup, cup number 4, going in. So at this point, you're probably panicking, being like, oh my God, it's way too dry. What did Lisa do? It'll all be okay, trust me. So here we go, we have it mixing in. It's all coming together now. I like to wait for it to be kind of chunky like this. And then I'm gonna stop the paddle and I'm gonna go in with my my thing. So you see I have all this buttercream stuck into my whisk. So I'm just pushing it out, getting it all off the whisk. Because I mean, that's great, but whoop, we need it into our buttercream, nowhere else. And if you're using your hand beaters, make sure that you stop and scrape them all off. and get all that goodness in there. I'm also gonna go into my bowl and I'm gonna push everything down just to make sure I'm scraping it all out and getting everything in. Okay, so there we go. So that's kind of like all mixed in together now. Now we're gonna add our 1 teaspoon of milk. Oh, my cupcakes. Just gonna let that sit for a second. Check on my cupcakes. So it's been 18 minutes for me. Let me just see what they look like. Ooh. So I'm just gonna test it. Have a couple crumbs, so that's good. We're looking good. So these ones are done.
So how do you know when they're done?
When you stick a toothpick in, you're gonna have a couple what I call clingers. That's little bits of cooked cupcake. So on my little thing, you can see it. I have a couple little clingers there. Can you see that, Mom?
Yes, I can see the clingers.
My couple little clingers. That means that it's cooked. Obviously, if it's raw batter, it ain't cooked. But you don't want it so dry that your toothpick comes out totally and completely, because then you're gonna get a dry cupcake. So those ones are done. I'm putting them off to the side. My next batch goes in. So that was 18 minutes for those ones. So, you know, always good to double check when you're baking. You know, if it calls for 20 minutes, put it down a couple minutes just because you never know. And also when I bake cupcakes, I try to get them out of the pan as soon as possible, just because I don't want them to overbake in the pan or over brown in the pan. So I have my little sheet pan. I'm gonna put it here, and then I kind of just really quick fingers grab them and take them out.
We have those racks as well.
I don't like using the racks because I find they make little indentations on my cupcake.
Oh my.
I'm such a princess, I know. But these are like perfect. So we got a nice golden brown on the bottom, but it's not over brown. And my sides are still pretty pale, which is great. So quick fingers, grab them out. They're still really, really soft. So, you know, be careful with them, or else you're gonna put a hole in your cupcake.
No, there's no salt in the icing, Janice.
Not yet, we haven't added it.
Oh, not yet.
Okay, so that's my first batch of cupcakes. So let's go back over to our frosting. So now we're gonna add our milk, any flavorings. You can add vanilla. I'm gonna add my almond because again, I don't have vanilla. You can also put in a little bit of lemon juice in there if you want. So the way that I always do my flavorings and my salt and my milk is I mix it all together in a little cup. So this is the cup that I use for my icing sugar. I'm just gonna use that. So I'm gonna measure out 1 teaspoon of milk. There he goes. And I'm gonna put in probably just a 1/4 teaspoon of almond. If you have vanilla, you can put in like a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, go ahead. Almond is a very, very, very strong flavor. So, whew, well, that was good. So you don't want to overdo your almond. And I just got it all over my counter. That's okay. That's not like almonds in here.
Oh, all right.
Sorry. And then we're also gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Go, Jays, go.
And that's gonna go into there. The reason why I like to add everything all together is because I like to try to dissolve my salt, or else I find you just get a weird kind of crystallized look on your frosting. So I like to put mine in with my milk and my extract and kind of just swirl it around like that, just to kind of dissolve my salt a little bit. And now I'm gonna throw that in there. So that was my milk, my extract, and my salt all in there, all together. So now we're gonna turn on our mixer. And we're gonna slowly boost the speed. And we're gonna let this kind of go for a while. It's flying everywhere, sorry. This is where it gets really messy. So now you wanna let this go for at least 5 minutes. because you want to get the air incorporated into it. If I were to taste this right now, it's going to be very, very sweet, very dense, just not really what I want it to be. So I'm going to boost it up. I'm going to let it go for about 5 minutes so it gets nice and fluffy and not as sweet. Obviously, the fluffier it is, the more air it has in it, the sweeter it does affect, which is great. And then don't forget to scrape. Scraping is so important. You have no idea. So scrapey, scrapey, scrapey. And if you find it's really, really dry, feel free to add a little bit more milk. Go for a little while, okay? So while that's doing its thing, why don't you come over here? So while the mixer's working, I'm going to talk to you guys about decorating your cupcakes. So there's several different options to do that. You know, you can pipe it on if you want to, you can spoon it on, you can use a knife to kind of get it on there. You're going to probably have to come over here, Mom.
All right.
Here we go. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, great. I'll take that as a yes. So, you know, there's different kind of nozzles. There's like a round nozzle you can use. There's a star shaped nozzle that can give you like a flowery effect. Oh, neat. There's a French nozzle that will give you more holes, give you more kind effect. And then for any of the nozzles in your piping bag, there's a couple different kinds. This one is a disposable piping bag. I really like these when I'm baking for friends or events. Just because it's very sanitary, you just clip off the end, fill it, do your thing, and throw it away, and then it's done. There's also a fabric piping bag. This one's reusable. So with this one, when it came, I just clipped off the bottom, and then my tip just goes in there. This one, when it's done, you know, you just clean it and save it. I use these ones a lot for family stuff, just because, you know, you can clean it, it's good.
Do you ever use the wax one that you can make?
I don't know how to make them, I suck at it, so I don't use that.
Oh, all right.
My mom is really good at making them, maybe we can get her to make us one later. But the wax paper ones, I suck at making them, so I don't make them. You can also use a zip top bag. Make sure it's really thick. This is a freezer one with Ziploc. You can use the corner, and you can cut the corner, put your tip in there, or if you don't have a tip, you can just cut it and just leave it, and that'll be your piping bag. So it's just kind of nice. So let's talk about coloring your frostings. There's going to be a time where you're going to want to do colors for your frosting. So, you know, there's kind of different areas you can go to with this. The ones that you buy in the store are these really kind of liquidy ones. I don't like to use these for anything. I didn't know we had this in the cupboard room. But these, the color pigment isn't really high. They're very watery. So not really good for baking. So just don't buy them. Don't do it. There's kind of different ones. There's a gel paste, which this one is here. This one's by Wilton. It's a green color. So you can see it's very highly pigmented, and it's not runny at all. So it's perfect for frosting because it won't make your frosting break. So that's kind of nice.
Can you just show the top?
This is Kelly Green, the color, Wilton. And it's just called gel color. There's also AmeriColor. These ones are soft, so it's like the gel, but it's soft because you can squeeze it out of this little bottle, which is kind of nice. This one's violet colored, it's purple, so it's quite bright again.
And where do you buy these?
Well. The Wilton colors you can usually get at any baking store. Like if you have like a culinary store that you go to, those ones you can get there. Also,
Michael's carries the Wilton line.
Yes, and Michael carries them as well. The soft gel colors, you do have to kind of seek out more of a specialty store, like a baking or cooking store. in Vancouver, there's Gourmet Warehouse, or there's Scoop and Save in Langley. They have lots of colors, and you can order them online, and they'll ship them directly to your house, which is great. They probably even ship across Canada, which is nice.
Oh, Katie wants to know, is it 1 tablespoon or 2 of milk in the frosting?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon, Katie.
I want to talk about dark colors. This is black. I have had some people ask me about dyeing their cupcakes black, their frosting black. I say, don't do it. Black color, it's really hard to get a dark pigment. Also, when you dye with black, what's going to happen when people eat it is going to dye their teeth like a really ugly pinky purple color.
Ew.
And that's not cute. If you do insist on using black, I suggest you make a chocolate icing, make it really, really dark chocolate, and then add black, and that'll give you some black. And then you can also leave your frosting overnight, cover it overnight, and that'll help develop the color even more. But other than that, don't use black. Enough said. Use it as like enhancement. Don't. I'm gonna check out my frosting. So it's still going here. It's still pretty stiff. So my frosting at this point is still really, really stiff. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more milk, just because I feel like it needs it.
How much are you adding?
I'm going to add another teaspoon of milk. We'll see what we get. So we're going to let that keep going. We'll go back over here and talk about sprinkles. Okay, so sprinkles for cupcakes. Super easy for decorating. There's many different kinds. There's these. Oh, that was good. It's all your fault, Mom. There's something like this. This is called sanding sugar. This happens to be a black color that I bought. I was probably making something. They come in many different colors. It's just basically like colored sugar. So this looks really nice on cupcakes. There is also, like your typical sprinkles. These ones are the rainbow round, the cake mate from the supermarket. These are really good for cupcakes. They have different kinds, like there's the heart ones that I got for Valentine's Day. Sometimes they come out with ones for Halloween and Christmas. Those are really easy to use. There's also like a mix. This mix I bought from Scoop and Save. It's kind of got some really nice things in there. So you can use them like that, for a really special occasion. And, you can always go to your local baking store and see, excuse me, see what kind of offerings they have. These ones I got on sale, so it was pretty cheap. So see what they got, see what you like, and go for it. Another thing that a lot of people really like is edible glitter. Just put a little bit in there. This is called Disco Dust. It's edible glitter. I found it on globalfoodart.com. I think it's what it's called. Sorry, this one's from Chef Tools. cheftools.com. They come in a whole bunch of colors, and it looks really, really nice on cupcakes. If you're making them for like a baby shower or a wedding, this is really, really pretty, and you don't need a whole lot for that. And you just sprinkle it on the top of your cupcakes when you're done baking them. Or sorry, when you're done frosting them, not baking them.
Can I just show the label to the people?
Yeah. So that was the green color of Disco Dust.
And who is it by?
cheftools.com.
All right.
So that one was really nice. A lot of people really like that because it looks really spectacular on cupcakes.
Yeah.
Another one I want to talk about are silver dragées. That's these guys. They are really popular for making interesting cupcakes. They are hard, so keep in mind someone's gonna have to bite through this, and it's not gonna be pretty. So don't go crazy with these on your cupcakes. Maybe just add 1 or 2. Because, you can't really, they're edible, but they're not really pleasant to eat. So that's those ones.
I'm just going to show them the tips again. I don't think they saw what they look like.
So this one here is a Wilton 4B tip, and it's got the French nozzle there.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
And this one is a Wilton 4, and it's got the open star tip. It's a lot better if I hold it.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Okay.
And then this one here is a Wilton 1A, and this one has the open tip.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm just gonna go check on my frosting. So we're looking pretty good here. So I'm just gonna check the texture of it. It's still pretty firm, so I'm gonna go ahead and add more milk.
You double dipped. But that's okay, it's for us.
Double dip. I didn't lick my finger though.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Ooh. She's the game police here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another, I'm actually gonna be bold and add 2 more teaspoons of milk into here, just because my frosting is really thick today. So I'm up to a tablespoon and a teaspoon of milk in my frosting.
So 4 teaspoons.
4 teaspoons, yeah. And that's looking good. So we're gonna keep adding air into this. Might even be crazy to add more milk. I like my frosting really creamy. I'm gonna add just a little bit more milk.
So we're up to 5 teaspoons. Oh, there goes another one.
I'm going for 6.
She's going for 6, ladies and gentlemen.
I like my frosting really creamy. But if you like a texture, stick with it. Go for it. I like mine really light, fluffy, and creamy, so that's kind of what I'm going for with this. See, that's a nice texture. The whipping takes a while, but it's definitely worth it.
Katie says mine seems good at 2. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. Mine just needed some extra love today, and that's fine.
As long as you're happy with the consistency, Katie, it's you know, entirely up to you.
Yeah, if the consistency is what you're looking for, the flavor is what you're looking for, go for it. Mine just needed extra love today.
Why would that be?
It might be really dry here. Or I might not have been really counting my ice and sugar to get too much. You'll just blame me. So I'm going to continue to let that go a little bit more. Clear all this away. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to taste my frosting. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not too sweet, it's buttery, I can taste the almond extract. I'm very happy with that. Make sure you taste it before you frost your cupcakes, because that would suck. You spend all this time making your cupcakes and your frosting sucks. So taste it. So my timer went. So I'm going to check on my cupcakes. Got a couple clingers, so I'm good to go. These ones are coming out. There we go. Good assistant is so hard to find. Ow! So that's my next batch of cupcakes out. I'm just gonna put my extra batter off to the side for now, and I'll scoop it after. But if you have your extra batter, go ahead, scoop it now, get it all ready to go. I'm gonna take my cupcakes out of here again with my fast hands so they don't get too brown. It's like an art sometimes.
Hot?
Oh, it's hot, yes. But it's worth it. And I don't really want to like invert the pan, because or else, you know, you're gonna deflate your cupcakes and they ain't gonna look cute.
Janice says, be careful.
Don't worry. This is what I need Charlotte for, Janice. Slave labor. She can do all the hard work here. Alright.
Oh my gosh, am I going to have to eat all these?
Yes, you will.
Sorry. Oh,
Sorry.
somebody's got to do it.
Sorry, Mom. I know it's very difficult.
I know.
Okay, so I'm just going to clear a space here.
Here, do you want a cloth?
Yeah, I'm going to grab one. Oh, I also forgot to mention, if you want to put fruit on top of your cupcake, totally cool. You can, what I would recommend you do is put a little bit of icing sugar into a bowl, rinse your fruit, and then put your fruit in with the icing sugar, give it a toss. What the icing sugar is going to do is make a little bit of a glaze, so it's going to make your fruit nice and shiny, and it's going to make your fruit last a little bit longer on top of your cupcake.
Ooh. Janet would like you to send some to Vernon.
I will get right on that, Janet.
And Grace would like some too.
I will get right on that, Grace.
How are you feeling today, Grace? Grace is just about 3 weeks away from having a baby. She's my daughter-in-law. And we have Mary Lou.
Oh, that's Eric and his wife.
Yes, watching.
One of my coworkers. Okay, so I'm just cleaning my little space here so I can show you guys some decorating. Eric really enjoys my baking at work. Sorry, Mary Lou. Just gonna grab a plate here. So today I'm going to show you a couple different techniques for frosting. I'm going to first show you the different piping tips. So
maybe I should go to the other side.
Sure, if you want to. You can all see my messy shirt from all my frosting. Frosting is a bit of a contact sport. You get kind of messy, but it's worth it. So I'm going to start off with the round tip so I can show you guys what that looks like when it's piped. So I'm just using my fabric piping bag. I'm going to put a little bit of frosting in. So to use a piping bag, you just kind of squeeze your frosting down to the bottom. You give it a twist. If you're doing this with kids, it's really nice to put an elastic band there or one of those like kitchen clippy thingies. That way it just kind of holds the bag shut, so when they're pressing down, it won't go up. But if you're an adult and you're piping, just twist it. Put it between your thumb and your finger and hold it like that. So this hand is going to be my squeezing hand. This hand is going to be my guiding hand. You never squeeze with both hands. So I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure, and I'm just going to pipe this out onto the plate so you can see what it looks like. So that's the round tip.
Not very exciting.
Not very exciting, no, but some people like it.
What would you use it for?
You know, a swirl.
A squirrel?
A swirl.
Oh, a swirl. Sorry.
Swirl. Jesus, Mom. You can also use this tip if you're frosting, actually hang on, let me load some more into here.
I guess you could go around with it, right?
You can go around with it to do a swirl. What also looks really nice.
And we have hi to Ben Hutchison.
Oh, Ben. If you are frosting, what does look really nice, so I can do it on a plate, is if you press, obviously, with that hand. So you press and you hold and you push.
Oh, that's pretty.
And you can do something like that around your cupcake. So how I did that is I just pushed a little bit and then I just dragged down. Push, drag, push, drag, push, drag. So that kind of makes a little bit of a pedal effect. You can do that all around your cupcake. Or if you want to make a flower on your cupcake, you can just go from one side, push, a little bit harder, and drag, and right into the middle. So it kind of gives you almost a pedal. So these are some banana cupcakes that I made from banana batter yesterday. So I can just show you that on here. I like that side. So you just kind of push and drag, push and drag, push and drag, push, drag, push, drag, push, drag, push, drag. So it kind of makes a little bit of a flower. And then once it's kind of dry, you can take your finger, just kind of like tap the middle, make it flush. And then you can add in, let's see, what should we add in the middle here?
Maybe a silver ball?
I was thinking that.
No, you weren't.
I was. Actually, no, I don't want to do a silver ball. I think I have some sanding sugar. One second. You have way too much baking stuff in here.
I know. Here we go. I have some yellow dragees. I guess all you need is just one in the middle.
You can just put one in the middle. Like that. You can even put maybe a little sanding sugar in there. That look pretty cute. So that's kind of one piping technique.
Bill would like marshmallow cherry.
You could do
not a marshmallow. Jeepers, maraschino cherry.
You could do a maraschino cherry. That would look really cute in there too.
Good idea, Bill.
Good idea, Bill. You're hired. Get rid of this one here that I have. Okay, so that is the plain round tip. So I'm just wiping off my cupcake here. I'm going to throw all my frosting back into my bowl so I can show you the next one.
When you go look for tips, like these kinds of tips, where are we here? You'll be amazed at how many there are, and they're just wonderful to use, and each one gives you a different decorative element.
Yes. When you're doing cupcakes, though, you want to make sure you're getting the big tips, not the little tips. Little tips are going to be too small.
So draw how maybe this is something you can do with the boys when they come up.
Let's do the star tip now.
Okay, we're doing the star tip.
So same thing, just a little bit of frosting. Got my thing ready to go. It's a little dirty, but this is the star tip. So you can see that it kind of has all the ridges in it. I just
that's
kind of wiggled.
pretty. Yeah.
So that one kind of, you get the little nice little things. You can also do little florets on your cupcakes if you want. Those kind of look like little hydrangeas. If you do like blue or pink, like a nice light blue or pink, that would kind of look like hydrangea on your cupcakes. And then you can put your little yellow ball in the middle if you want, like that. Or you can put a little bit of sanding sugar, or even that little edible glitter would be really pretty on there. For your cupcake.
What is sanding sugar as opposed to glitter?
So sanding sugar is that black stuff.
Right, but it comes in different colors.
Comes in different colors, right.
Okay.
Right, and you can really see that.
All right.
So, and then for your cupcake, you could do a swirl if you want with this one. That looks really nice. So I can show you that. So to do a swirl, you want to make sure that you're right over your cupcake. You don't want to be a little bit away, because obviously if you're away, your swirl is going to be crooked. So make sure you're right over your cupcake. Again, you're squeezing with your right hand nice and tight, and your left hand is just guiding. So here we go. So you kind of just follow on the edge of your cupcake, just go, 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 go. Once it connects, start going to the middle, and then just pop. So that would be just like a swirl there. And then that you can decorate any way you want to. You can put some sanding sugar on there. You can put some sprinkles on there. You know, whatever tickles your fancy. So that is the star tip. That's the one I most often use for my cupcakes, just because I really like the look of it. It looks really classy. I didn't put a whole lot of frosting on there. If you want a lot of frosting on your cupcake, you can do 2 levels to make it really tall. You know, whatever makes you happy. So that is the star tip. Need more plates. Okay, so next we'll talk about the French tip.
The French tip. Number 4. I don't know if you can see it there. 4B.
4B.
Wilton.
So this tip obviously has a lot of prongs, so it's going to make a lot of ridges in our frosting.
Oh, I forgot to get those things out.
What things?
For the rum, you know, when you...
Oh, the pipettes.
Pipettes.
They're in my thing. Okay, so once again, just, you know, making a little pack there. So let's do this right on this side so you can see the difference.
Oh, that's pretty too. I like that.
So that is the French tip. You can see the difference in the ridges. This one has less, this one has more, because all the teeth. Really popular style for cakes right now is to do a whole bunch of these little drops all around like one side of the cake. So you can do something like that. But this one you can also do like little swirls, which kind of look really cute. You know, so that gives you options. And then for your little cupcake friend, let's just do the little dots everywhere because that would look really cute. So we're just gonna go dot, dot. So for the dots, I'm just pushing, squeezing, and lifting right up.
Now you should stop squeezing and then lift up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ta-da! So that's him.
Oh, that's cute.
I know it's cute. And then for that one, again, you can put sprinkles on him if you want. You can put glitter on him if you want. Whatever you like. So that is the French tip. Okay, and then lastly, if you don't have any tips and you want to make a cupcake, you can just frost it with a kitchen knife. So this is just one of our dinner knives. You know, you can just grab some frosting, make sure you have a good amount, put it on top, and then just turn your cupcake, make a rocking motion back and forth, get all that frosting on there, back and forth, rocking motion. Keep turning your cupcake around in your hand while you frost it. Make sure you're using the back end of the knife rather than the front, because the front has the teeth, so it'll make a little pattern. And then that's what you can do.
Janice says it looks very pretty.
Thank you, Janice. So then that would just be a plain frost.
Okay. Oh, hang on.
Everybody?
Which way? Oh, here. Turn it around. You weren't supposed to see me.
That's shocking.
I know.
Shocking. Another thing you can also do is use a teaspoon. It kind of makes a really pretty pattern in the cupcake. So again, you just take a nice heaping bit of frosting, put it on top of your cupcake, and then you can take your spoon, just make sure your finger's touching your spoon, and just kind of push it down again, just like before. And this one kind of gives you more like a swirly effect. You know, I'm kind of just turning my cupcake while I'm frosting it. So I mean, you can obviously spend like hours doing this. Kind of looks a little rustic with the spoon.
Hmm.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Hmm.
Again, you can put some stuff on it, and that would be good.
All right. Can you go find the thingies?
I will go find the things.
Okay, we're going to have a short break while she finds another idea for adult cupcakes. And I have to get some rum.
Oh,
And a little cup.
yes.
All right.
So my mom found these little things on the internet a couple years ago, little pipettes. So,
This is what they sort of look like. Okay, that's enough. So this is my personal favorite. I made these for a birthday luncheon one day, and they were a big hit. So you make your cupcake, and I actually made a boozy cupcake which has alcohol in it.
What do you mean you made? I made them for you. Nice try.
Anyways, as I was saying, they were a big hit, but then I had one more step. I got one of these.
Here, do you want me to show you?
Yeah. Okay, so I got one of these little pipettes. They come in different forms, a star, plain, there's a heart, there's a syringe. I got them online, I think Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
And what I did is you just, this is rum, but you can use, I don't know, tequila, gin, or whatever you want. And you fill it as much as you can. And then you stick it into your cupcake. And before the person eats it, what they do is they squeeze all this delicious rum into the cupcake, and then they eat it.
So that's obviously your cupcake.
That's kind of a fun thing to do for adults. All right, that's my contribution.
Thank you, Mother.
All right.
So Ben was asking, how do you make a small batch of cupcakes? Totally easy. When you're looking for a recipe to make smaller, you want to find something where, you know, the number of eggs equals the recipe. So for this particular recipe, we had 2 large eggs. You can safely half the recipe to have, you know, 1 large egg. If it had something like 3 eggs and you're trying to have it, it ain't gonna work. Because how are you gonna measure 1.5 eggs? Really, you're not gonna do it. So you want to find something to make sure that it makes sense with what you're having. So for this one, you would just take all the ingredients and half them, and that would give you a dozen cupcakes to make it nice and smaller. You can also freeze them. You can frost them and freeze them. You can freeze them unfrosted, and you know, it'll be good. If you're doing anything fancy like the sprinkles or my mom's little pipettes, wait till they're out of the freezer and then add your final little garnish after. If you add the sprinkles in with the freezer, it's just gonna melt, and they're not gonna look pretty. So yeah. Any other questions about frosting your cupcakes?
Well, actually, Matt Dickey just tuned in. Where have you been, Matt?
Snoozing.
Snoozing.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it for today. So make sure that you post pictures of your fabulous cupcakes, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week.
And thank you to all our viewers. We have them from Vernon, Kingston, Toronto, Vancouver, of course, and the one that's the most furthest away is in Colombia, South America. So thank you all for watching. This has been another production of Crow Lake Studios. Thank you and bye.
Bye.
Bye.